Hey everybody, welcome to Power Hour, starring me, Ron Harrison, of course, all the way from across the pond, just back from the Kokini Bella Muscle Classic in Budapest. Yes, we're talking about the one and only Giles, Tiger Thomas. Welcome.
I like it, Ron. I thought you said Cocaine Classic there. I was thinking that's a different sort of show. That's one I would have gone to 20 years ago.
I think they held that in Miami for several years in the 1980s, but they don't put that show anymore. So
sponsored by the Escobars.
So yeah, looks like you guys had a great time doing the live stream for them. Looked like the show went off without a flaw, and what a beautiful city. You posted some really cool pictures of you and Lauren touring Budapest.
Do you know what? Because I went by myself. That was my first trip off my heart surgery, and I was really nervous because I remember I was still had really bad heart arrhythmia and everything, and Lauren wasn't with me, so she was really nervous. So that was my first live stream trip. So I went to the Fit, because they have two shows a year. They do this one, and then they do the Fit Parade in like October. Yeah. And I went, and it was absolutely fantastic. And I remember on the plane going over, and I was thinking, why is there so many groups of like young lads? Itchiest nose. Sorry. Really groups of like these. I think it's there because I've got the doors open now because it's getting hot over here now. Okay. And I think maybe I might have a little bit of hay fever. So it's really itchy. I was like thinking, why is there so many groups of young lads going to a place like Budapest? Because I didn't really, obviously know Budapest, but I'd never been before. Yeah. And then when I got there, and it was the same this time as well, and I was like, you expect them to be going to London or Manchester or somewhere in Spain, like the cheap booze and everything. Yeah. And it was really like it's because it's an upmarket as like the poshest parts of London. It's got the history and the architecture of say Madrid or Prague or Paris, and then it's kind of a cool place, but it's got history and it's so cheap because I was actually starting to work out like the exchange rate because Lauren went out to the mall. And she came back and she had all this stuff she bought. She goes, I got these jeans for like $11, £9, and it's not like cheap crap. It's nice stuff. And we're going to these nice bars and restaurants, and the bills would come back. I was like, this is why people come here, because it's a really it's like you could get there. You could fly there cheaper for a weekend if you're like in a group of guys than you could if you caught the train and went to London and just spent an absolute fortune. And and like you can get into the bars and there's no snobbery and it's all very, very clean. But honestly, Budapest, what an absolutely amazing place. But we had a fantastic time. I broke my record of the longest live stream in one go because chairs just broke. Because remember in Sweden, I did 9 hours the first day, 9.5 hours the second day. Well, this was all in one day. And they had natural regionals. They've just started that. Then they did the regional. And 40% of the regional was bikini girls.
Wow. So
there was 4 of 10 pages. And it was just all there was 6 height classes in the novice, 6 height classes. And it was and the standard was incredible.
I know.
Then they did and then they basically took a break for about 45 minutes, an hour. And then they did 3 pro classes. They did figure, they did bikini, and the classic. And it was run by that, because I saw the pictures of Richard Nagy. They were saying his name differently. He's Hungarian, so they're obviously really happy a Hungarian one. Yeah. I mean, and I said 2 weeks to Ildiko, I said he'll win. I said no one's gonna be as good as him that turns up, because I saw the progress, because I saw him compete as an amateur 2 years ago, and then he came back and he's just completely. I mean, he blew my mind actually. And I said even 2 weeks ago, I said, I'm telling you, Richard is top 10 Olympic material. I said he is absolutely so well put together. And he's a really, really cool guy. And I mean, up close, he's like his legs and the density, the conditioning, I was like, and it was a good class, but he completely dominated. It was incredible. And also the Rejoice, that the figure girl. But you know what? The figure girls, I mean, they're bigger than the women's physique now.
Yeah, I've seen
they're huge.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and
the women's divisions are sort of, several of them are really blurring together lately.
I mean, that Rejoice, she looked like, she was bigger than Linda Murray.
Wow. Jeez.
I mean, she had the same kind of tie-ins and these crazy exaggerated lines and beautiful. But I mean, I would say she was probably even bigger than Jessica Race Padilla.
Wow.
Like she was big, but she had beautiful tiny joints. She was like kind of like a Linda Murray flex wheeler, but a figure. But she won, and she won quite convincingly. But there were supposed to be 5 figure girls, and apparently, and when she won, she said, "Oh look, there were supposed to be 5 entrants, but 2 weeks ago, one of the entrants, she died."
Oh my God.
Yeah, so we all stood up and did a minute silence, but it was like, whoa, that was quite intense, So she stood there with like a, literally like a trophy and everything, and we just all did a minute silence. But
awful.
Yeah, so big shout out, big thank you there to Ildiko. and her amazing team for the IFBB Pro League Hungary. Mazanelli was out there from New Jersey, so it was nice to hang out with him. So we stayed up till, because obviously both friends with Crystal.
Yep.
So we were like messaging her on our fourth glass of red wine, both messaging her like on both of our phones, and just sending pictures and sending videos and stuff. So because obviously she's friends with both of us, but we all haven't hung out together in such a long time. But yeah, it was fantastic. It was really, really good. And got back late last night, and then I was staying up doing social media, and then straight into back home. And like I said, I'm doing the Wesley tour tomorrow. So it's all go. It's all go. But it's I think once that Ronnie tour was a success, and then went to Sweden, that was a success. I feel like I'm on a bit of a roll at the moment. So, mate, I mean, obviously it sounds in my voice. I'm absolutely buzzing at the moment.
Right on. All right, so the New York Pro's coming up a few days, but before we talk about that, we have to talk about Pittsburgh. So let's bring that up on screen. Wow. Okay, so what do we got there? We got Samson Dauda, Hunter Labrada, Nick Walker, Derek Lunsford, Martin Fitzwater, Andrew Jack, and the two of the top classic guys in the world, Urs Kalaczynski and Ramondino. Oh, I got you muted. Sorry. Yeah, let me unmute you. Oh, I can't unmute you. Oh boy. I have to take it off. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah.
You were muted with that on. I couldn't unmute both of us. So it was. I'll have Jen put up the footage. So it was the annual Pittsburgh show. It's always, you got a couple guys who are almost in contest condition, and then you always have a few guys who are in way deep dark off-season mode, and people are always still trying to figure out, how are they going to look? How's they going to look at the Olympia? We're 5 months out from the Olympia. It's ridiculous to even talk about it. But I mean, Lunsford looked pretty tight. He's keeping really good condition. For Urs Kalaczynski, I thought was actually the leanest guy up there. And oddly, I don't know if he's competing again soon. I haven't heard anything, but something tells me he might be.
I thought that as well, because I thought, okay, that looks like, I mean, you can tell the guys that maybe have just competed a few weeks ago because they're still holding onto a bit of condition. But then some of them, like, you just think, no, he's got to be getting ready for something, because like there's conditioning and the ways. I mean, I'd be very, very. I think he's going to be one of these ones that just jumps into a show maybe at the last minute. Just, I think. Do you know? What about Dubai? Do you think maybe, because there's big prize money there, isn't there? Do you think maybe he's trying to gear up for that because he wants to pick up some prize money? Because also, don't forget,
August. That's a ways away. That's 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, but Urs has to kind of regain some footing from kind of getting knocked back because he got beat by Wesley, didn't he? The Arnold in the Arnold UK. So kind of. He got beat by a 7th place guy, and he's 3rd place at the Olympia. So he's maybe trying to get a bit of, maybe just for himself, for his own kind of confidence. He wants to try and get it. Oh, now you're talking. You're talking.
Oh no, I'm gonna take him off screen because I want to go to Gilko. I want to look at some of the Gilko footage. Is always the best stuff. He's put up some videos. These are two brothers, Gilko Productions guys. I'm using their footage. Gage and Mitchell Gilbert. They're the best as far as. So they have. Let's see. They have footage of everybody up. Jeez. But let's take a look at Derek first. Why not? He's Mr. Olympia. So Derek, for being 20 some odd weeks out, 23 weeks out, something like that from the Olympia. Do you see any improvements in Derek? I know it's.
I mean, I to be honest, I think him and Andrew were the most impressive.
Yeah.
For me, I was. I mean, because obviously last year, when was it the year before? The year before, so 2022, when he did Pittsburgh, and that was kind of like one of the biggest talking points of the year. And then obviously he won the Olympia last year, and incredible. But then he gets to a point when you think, okay, how many times can they keep shocking us? Because he's 5'6".
Yeah.
He's already got a very, very developed physique. How much longer can he really, really keep impressing us? And to be honest, he did. I mean, I think there's a little bit more going on in his legs. Because remember when, like around 2017, when he hit the scene after turning pro at the USA's, he kind of didn't really have any calves, and then it was about 2 years later, and he just, like, his calves now. I mean, they're not quite like Flex Lewis calves. Do you know what I mean? But they're pretty good. They're pretty damn good. And honestly, I was really, really impressed. And like you said, he's fully blown off season. You can see lines in his glutes there. I think his legs absolutely incredibly separated, for where he is really right now. So I'm kind of I think I'm trying to think, because I change from week to week on who I think is going to win the Olympia. I think I was on Hadi the other week, and then I changed to Nick, and now I'm thinking, I think Derek is really, really not wanting to let go of this title.
Yeah.
So I mean, I kind of want to see improvements in the chest, which I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at too.
Yeah, I think maybe because he did that video of the week, but I think he just trained chest, so I think he wanted people to think the chest was better than it maybe was. But I mean, every physique has its strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, of course.
But I was extremely impressed with Derek. I thought it looked absolutely fantastic. So so what do you think, Ron?
Yeah, I'm going to move right on because we got so many guys. Look at Urs. He was by far the leanest guy. He looked like he was competing.
Yeah, that's not even guest posing condition. That's not even like 4 weeks out. That's like bringing contest conditioning to the stage. I mean, do you know what? Sometimes it's like when guys get knocked down, like someone like a Nick Walker, obviously not being able to compete, or they're placing slip back or something like Urs. Like the ones with the real sort of mental strength and the ones that have really got it in them, that fire and that spirit, are the ones that, like with Urs, he got beat by Wesley, who really, we didn't see that one coming because Wesley was 7th place at Olympia. Urs has been, top 3 twice. Him and it's always Bumstead, Ramon, and him for the last 2 years. And that's widely considered to be the top 3. So I think having that happen, and then it happened again at the Arnold UK, I think it's really. I mean, these guys are already insanely motivated, insanely good competitors. But now, to bring that to literally, it is basically just a guest posing.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to make a bit of a statement here, and I think he realizes, he's got to try and get back to where he was. And I mean, he's been online saying, I'm the man to beat C-Bum this year and all that. And then Rough Diesel said, oh, pretty tough talk for a guy that just got beat by the 7th place guy, Wesley. So, it's kind of, you can tell that it's really, as it does, it really gets to people because, when athletes keep going up and up and up, that it's kind of, the fans kind of expect it to keep happening. So when they get a little bit of a knockback like this, it kind of makes them go into sick gear. And it makes it very exciting for what, because honestly, I was just talking to Laura about this driving back from the airport last night. I said, let's just put the Mr. Olympia aside. Like the Olympia this year is going to be alone will be worth it just to see the Classic Olympia this year because it's going to be insane. Agreed.
Yeah, and he's qualified already from 3rd place last year. He could just jump into the Olympia theoretically, but who's going to pass up Dubai for that big paycheck? And I suspect Dubai is going to be packed.
But he's not motivated by money because he went and did Prague last year, won it, and only got $2,000 prize money. And he'd already qualified for the Olympia. So it's not like he's literally just trying to go and, bump up his prize money. So I think there's I'd be interested to speak to him actually to see what's really going on with him.
Yeah. So he got to pose with Ramon again because, it's as soon as Wesley won the Arnold and became sort of the new threat to Bumstead, and people were immediately, some people, obviously the entire nation of Brazil is not going to turn their back on Ramon, and Urs has a huge fan base as well. But it was a good thing for these two to show up and remind everyone they've been number 2 and 3 in the world for a couple of years now. So don't write us off for a second like that.
Shall I message Urs and say, look, I've got Wesley's current diet here because I'm actually making his food for the first day to meet him tomorrow. I've got his food for him. So I've actually got his diet. Shall I start teasing Urs, see if I can
light a fire?
Yeah.
I mean, based on this,
I've got his diet.
The fact that he's looking like this, nowhere near a contest, I think he must be more motivated than ever before.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to get at,
Yeah. So Samson, I say unfortunately because the timing, you got to give your body a break sometime, and this happened to be at the end of a good break that he really needed. So he said on his Instagram he's been off all the special supplements. Hasn't really been training that hard. So, he fulfilled his guest posing obligation. He doesn't look horrible, but this is not the Samson that was, we just saw a couple months ago, nor should it be. These guys, because if you want to see him at his best at the Olympia, he has to sort of slow down for a little while before gearing up again for that.
Correct.
I don't want to dwell. Go ahead. Say what you'd like to say about Samson.
And he is like a sort of a smart guy. Like he does come off. He's not one of these guys who sort of stays on all year round and just hammers the body. He's kind of he's always been smart in that regard. I remember having a chat with him last year. I think it was last year, and I said, just because he was really he was doing lots of shows back to back. I said, mate, it's just something popped into my head. Please tell me that you're taking care of your blood work. And then we had a bit of a conversation by text, and he says, no. He says, and he kind of really indicated that he really knew what he was talking about, and really, he was very, very on the topic. And I said, mate, because I said, you sort of at that point where I said, it'd be tempting to just stay on all the time and keep pushing. I said, because imagine if like something had gone wrong with his health in the last year or two, and then and then he just disappeared for a year or something, So it's good to know that. And thing is, even if he is off, he still looks pretty freaking good, doesn't he?
Sure, he does. I mean, that's the thing. It's I remember many shows. Guest posing used to be every show you went to had a guest poser. It was a standard. Yeah, it's sort of that's not the case anymore because the promoters don't see the return on it. But guys would show up looking completely out of shape, look like they hadn't eaten anything but donuts and pizza for the last 6 months. Yeah. So I think considering that he's been taking a nice break, which he sorely needed, still very impressive. Of course, people are going to be more impressed with. Okay, so this ended up being the talk of the guest posing, mainly because Nick has been our heavy favorite to win New York Pro ever since he made his intentions clear that he was doing it. We said, okay, well, there's your winner, and good luck, everybody else. So people jumped on how bad they thought he looked here. I mean, his waist looked a little blocky.
A little.
Come on, Ron. His midsection was blown out here. Yeah. And the condition, this is not where I'd want to see the New York Pro winner at a week out from the New York Pro for sure. And we can look at a post from Nick and Matt that they made just a couple hours ago that explained that they have a plan, and this was all part of the plan, which makes sense to me once we'll get to that. But
part of the plan. What does that mean? What the hell does that mean?
We'll read it. Don't worry. But people jumped all over this. They thought he looked awful. He was getting a lot of hate because that midsection did look really blocky.
He did, because like somebody sent me a screen grab, and I was like, this was in the morning before I'd even seen the video. And it was as he walks on, and then he just goes back to his first pose, and he was literally letting it hang out there, like there. Look, watch this.
Yes.
There, screen grab. I mean, I don't really see how you can fix that in a week. And the thing is, people saying, he's lied to us with all these not Photoshop pictures, but carefully angled pictures. Because you see all these pictures of him in his with his bloody pubic hair showing, when he pulls his trousers down, which drives me freaking nuts.
Yeah.
Which I hate that. I hate that shit. It's like when guys start doing rear shots and they've got no clothes on, and I just hate that. It's really disgusting. Yeah. And I'm very disgust sensitive. I don't know. I just think I mean, the rear bicep looks nice. But I do you know what, Ron? I know I've tried to really kind of like tune into his physique, into the way he presents himself and stuff, but I can't. I'm off the train again, mate. I'm so sorry. So sorry. It's not my style of physique, and as much as I try, I can't just he's got one nice pose as far as I'm concerned. That's the rear double bicep. But I mean, he's an impressive kid. He's fierce, he's thick, but I mean, I'm from, people say, it's because of all the mass he's got. And it's like, well, Ronnie, Marcus Rule, these kinds of guys, these are the kinds of mass monsters I liked. And for me, it's that left leg. It looks so much smaller than the right. I mean, it's not good. I mean, the legs look fine from the back and the side, but from the front, I don't know. I was like, ooh, when I saw him, and I want good things from him. He's a hard worker and stuff, but I just don't see him being top 3 this year. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well,
in fact, sorry to interrupt. I was thinking about, you saw the comparison between him and Martin. And let's talk about what happened at the 212 Olympia last year. You had Sean Clarida, who's like the freakier, he's like the freak of the 212. And then you had the prettier, the vacuum with Keon Pearson, arguably quite a bit smaller and less thick than Sean Clarida. But because he had the better aesthetics and the vacuum and the slightly smaller waist, they gave it to the Keon. And I think seeing pictures of him and Martin side by side kind of reminded me of that. So if Lightning's going to strike twice with that kind of freaky versus aesthetics, then Martin could. There's a potential that Martin could possibly beat him at the New York Pro. What do you think?
Well, yeah. I mean, Martin's got better shape, better aesthetics for sure. Got better balance. I'd say the only thing really that Nick has over him is overwhelming mass.
Yeah.
Martin's got a prettier physique. There's no doubt. He's got a good amount of mass. He doesn't get blown away when he stands next to Nick. But Nick, if Nick pulls it together, like I have a suspicion that he will with him and Matt Jansen, I think Martin's going to push him. We'll look at Tonio too. I think Tonio's going to push him. It's not going to be an easy win for Nick. I think he's got a tough. This is the toughest New York Pro lineup. I don't want to put down last year's lineup, but this is much tougher lineup than it was last year.
It's amazing. Have you seen that Joseph
Kvet?
Yeah, have you seen? Because I was chatting to apparently I don't know whether he wants this out, but he tore his pec 8 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh!
But it's a slight pec tear, and he's just carried on prepping. And you can see in the pictures, it looks like he's got a lot of people sometimes have competitors have those slight indentations. It's just, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's torn. It's like Andrew Jack's got those little pinches on the side of his pecs. See there, there's left pec. That's actually a tear. That's actually a tear. But he's carried on prepping because apparently a few weeks ago he said he was going to pull out, and then he said, "Well, I'm going to carry on anyway." So I mean, you've seen him. I mean, look at him. He looks absolutely incredible. So he's been training, with a kind of severe sort of impingement there, literally. I think
this is the torn pec here. I guess.
No, the left one.
Oh, it's the other one. It's his left.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, hang on. He's in the mirror. Hang on. Yeah, see there.
Yeah, you can see it right there. You can see the indentation.
But I mean, it doesn't. I mean, I've seen much worse than pec tears than that. But I mean, my eyes are just drawn to his shoulders anyway. 100%. Oh yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, you can see it. It's I've seen much worse than that.
Yeah, and they're not even torn.
But he was so impressive last year when he took third place.
Yeah,
it's going to be a tough go for him this year, just because we got so many. There's a few guys doing the show that are just insane, insane.
Crazy to think he's a farmer, isn't it?
That's right, he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Look at that grainy. Look at that. You and I love that crisp, clear separation. Just that grainy look. We don't see that so much anymore.
And he ain't jimmying up them shoulders, is he? He's not doing what Hadi and Samson are doing.
I just want to go back. I want to finish up.
You totally
I want to finish up the Pittsburgh discussion with this, just to look at a couple more guys, and then we'll leave off that. Where did I put it?
Andrew Jack got good minds. I mean,
that's
what? Because we've been looking forward, because Andrew Jack, since he turned pro at the Arnold a couple of years ago, the amateur, he's been kind of competing back to back, isn't he? He's never had a chance for a full proper off season. And I knew that once he had, say 4, 5, 6 months. I mean, when was the last time he competed off the top of your head? Probably the Olympia.
It was the Olympia,
yeah. Yeah. So he's had a really good, and he was getting sick all the time. And that's usually an indication that someone's pushing it too hard and they need, because the guy that's that height, that kind of size, he kind of can't just keep prepping. He needs sort of a bit of time just to sort of, get some decent amount of food in and some decent heavy training, and not bloody doing 2 hours of cardio, sort of burning it all off again. So I was really, really happy to, I was really excited to see that, to see the new version of him. Now he's had a few months break to just train and just get as big as possible.
Yeah, someone said he was 330 pounds.
I believe him.
Yeah, he looks every inch. He's 6'2". Someone actually commented he's got no legs on my video yesterday. I'm like, really? I think you need a new computer.
No, he's got legs. Trust me, he's got legs.
I've never seen him this heavy. I don't want to say out of shape, because you still got some lines in the physique. But this is by far, like I said, I don't think we've ever seen him in an off-season mode, because the whole time we've known him, he's basically been prepping.
Yeah, never. So I think, and the thing is, he's probably, because he's basically grown his physique in the last few years whilst basically being on prep, he's probably going to grow into the prep as well. So I think he's one of them, and now he's had a bit of a break and a chance to sort of he's refreshed, and he's probably going to be hungry to sort of really make an impact, because I mean for the Olympia, I feel like there's 3 or 4 contests going on within the Mr. Olympia, and I think that, and the third one for me is Jack versus Crizzo, because they were 5th and 7th last year, and I got a feeling that it's going to be there's going to be an interesting fight to see those two, because they're kind of at that similar stage in their careers. They're both hungry. They're both kind of moving up. I mean, just like Hadi and Derek being 1 and 2, those kind of shorter guys, I could see potentially. I mean, I could quite easily, maybe I could say I could easily visualize seeing those two, the last two standing at Olympia, with a couple more years of prep and everything. So
someone made a comment, I hate the M word because I'm vertically challenged, midget. They said these tall guys are really they're all coming into their own now. It's taking a couple of years.
Yeah.
The Samsons, Andrew, Crizzo, Quint, they think the midget era is about to end as these the Giants take place.
The midgets are still kicking ass, aren't they? So
no, they're not doing too badly. I do want to take one look at Hunter, because Hunter is doing that Flex Pro show in Italy that Nathan is also doing.
Oh, good luck. Good luck with that.
And somebody corrected me. I said, well, I can't imagine anyone's beating him there. Looking at that, and then immediately someone said, "Have you seen Nathan?" And I had to stop and say, "Yeah, you're right. You're right. I forgot about Nathan." And looking at Nathan, we'll look at him later. He is looking phenomenal.
Oh, I'm really happy you brought that up because I've been going absolutely bananas since I saw that update. I've been messaging him nonstop. I've been like, Nathan, what have you been doing? Like, so we'll talk about him in a minute. Let's talk about Hunter. But
he's the biggest. He's close to 300 pounds.
Nathan will destroy him.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
He will. No, if he's going to go up against him in Italy, I like Hunter. I think he's great. But Nathan's gone to another level. He's gone not back to another level because after the bicep tears, it's like John De La Rosa when he came back and he got those 2 second places.
Right.
And he behind the 2 guys he beat. Who was it? Yeah. Justin Shire, and who was the other one? Who was the other guy he went up against? So anyway, but and you could see that he still needed another 6 months or a year back in the gym, and that's what Nathan's done. And Nathan's gone beyond. Like I felt like Nathan 2017 Olympia was his best ever, and I saw him at the Old Europe that year, and he looked absolutely incredible. And then he's always looked good since because he's an incredible bodybuilder. But I feel like he's gone to another level that he's never been to before and beyond. I just think he's absolutely incredible. But as for Hunter, I'm not going to bash Hunter. I like Hunter. I think people are saying how much he's improved. Personally, I don't really see it. I think he's big, but to me, he kind of. You don't know till they've actually dieted down and you actually see them on stage. But to me, he kind of looks much the same to me. I mean, what do you think, Ron?
I see bigger overall. I still don't see the back thickness that I'd like to see. It's better than it was. It's just we have some guys he's up against who have such thick backs.
Yeah,
but he's been as high as 4th at the Olympia. That's going to be a struggle to get in the top 5 this year for him.
Yeah, I don't see him being top 5, mate.
It would be tough. It's going to be tough. But
I think he'll always be a top 10 guy because he's very consistent as well. He's pretty consistent with conditioning and he's a very hard worker as well.
Okay, so I want to address this because this came out a couple of hours ago. People were saying Nick Walker is screwed for the New York Pro. So Matt posted, Nick and I prepare for competition. We do our process and everything is planned for the day that it actually matters. I remember the same thing happened in 2019 at Wayne's for USA's. Everyone freaked out saying he wasn't ready. 24 hours later, he shocked everyone. Came second that show. So anyway, this Saturday we stayed on our plan. There was no peaking for the guest posing. He was up at 5:30, did cardio, traveled 5.5 hours, Pittsburgh. Saturday night, he stepped on stage with no training, no pump up, 5 meals and 7 liters of water in at 8 p.m. at night. At 270 pounds, 270, geez. He's 270 now? 270-pound body under the stress of travel, regardless of how stress-free it is. The body's under stress. It's going to hold water. He did this for you guys, the fans, to promote the IPB and support the organization we're thankful to be a part of, not for validation of his current look. So, this is 2 days later. This is this morning. They took a progress shot to show you the condition is there. And the waist.
I think they're a bit tad defensive there. I think if you weren't feeling it and feeling this sort of what the people's comments and stuff, you just say very little or just don't post anything. I feel like, when they say he doth protest too much.
Damage control.
Yeah, to me, that sounds like a lot of excuses to me. A lot of, reasons why he should have been and looks so much better and he looks so amazing. Probably he's still going to win the New York Pro, don't get me wrong. But that sounds a bit defensive to me, mate. I've got to be honest. All
right, so ignore the pubic hair here. But, his waist looks significantly smaller here. So I'm assuming this is less magic mirror, less meals, less food. Not as bloated. He's someone who probably at this stage needs to be very careful with how much food and liquid are in his stomach when he hits the stage. But I remember Jose Raymond told me that too. He had to be had no food in his system if he wanted to have a good midsection on stage.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of excuses, mate. To be honest, I'm back. Obviously, people think I'm back on the Nick Hater train now. So I'm just going to roll with it. I'm going to roll with it, mate. Choo choo.
We just got you off the hater train.
Yeah, we trolled him nicely.
So let's take a look at Tony. I want to see if he's got anything. What the heck is that? I don't know. I go to the stories first because I assume sometimes they're going to have really great updates.
Yeah.
So that looks like it was Brazil.
Tonio versus Quint will be interested.
Yeah. Well, that's pin. Okay, so here we go. This is current. This is 2 days ago. And it is a dexterous physique. It's just a beautiful physique.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kenny. So he's the defending champion. It's Nick. He's never beaten Nick. I don't know, man. What do you think if Nick looks, let's say he splits the difference and looks not quite his best, but close to it. Doesn't look as bad as we saw at that guest posing. Do you think Tonio has a chance?
No.
It's tough. I mean, Tonio, he still needs size if he's going to, we both love shape, aesthetics, condition, proportion, all that, but size is still such a dominating criteria in bodybuilding. It's tough to beat somebody as thick and dense as Nick Walker.
I mean, Tonio versus Martin will be interesting because, when is this? How recent is this, Ron?
This looks like all these things 3 days ago.
Yeah, he looks good. It always looks good, Tonio. I don't really have much to say, really. I kind of have him sort of fighting for third with Quint. I think Martin and Nick will be the top two. I think Nick first, Martin second, and then I think third. I'm looking at probably Tonio, then Quint, because I think Quint still needs a bit more time. He looks great on stage. I think Martin, he lacks a little bit, especially you see he lacks a bit of separation. He's got good condition. I think maybe obviously because I don't know whether it's just the lighting at Pittsburgh, but it seems very bright. Because they all look a bit washed out. Because if you look closely, his legs are really nicely, deeply separated. But I'm kind of just like a bit, maybe he just needed to put more tan on, or maybe the lighting's set too bright on them. But I mean, he's in good condition, and he looked fantastic in Detroit.
Yeah, so, I could see his tan's not. That is not. He's going to be darker than that. Put it that way. This is just enough tan to get on a guest posing stage because you saw those cross striations there on the quads. His glutes are in. I mean, condition-wise, he'll be where he needs to be. I don't doubt that. But yeah, it's gonna be a heck of a show. I'll be there with Christian. If you guys didn't know, I will be there all.
Oh, nice.
That doesn't even look like him. That's him. I guess.
It doesn't, does it? It doesn't. But that's a really nice shot. I mean, look at the. I'm criticizing for his lack of muscle separation, but I mean, he looks pretty separated there, and he's pumped as well. So
yeah, he's pumped.
That's really impressive.
Right. We would like to see more stripiness. More. This is a little older. The shot, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not. No, all the comments are from.
Look at the hamstring drop. My God.
Yeah. He's got a hell of a build on him, Martin.
I've seen Martin up close. I guess it was posing in the gym back in Sweden back in 22 when he's part of Gasp, and him and Kienzl. And I tell you what, when you see him up close, I mean, I think he's got one of the best rear lat spreads in the industry. Because when his radial biceps good, don't get me wrong, but his rear lat spread, it was like Dorian Jean-Pierre Fuchs wide. Where there's like extra bits on top of bits that it does. I mean, if you actually zoom in and actually see how wide his rear lat spread is, I mean, it is absolutely. I mean, it's like Derek Lunsford, where literally there's no gaps left.
Wow, let's see if he hits it.
Go on.
No!
Come on, Martin! Come on, man! Come on!
Shoot out a rear lat spread, Martin. All you got to do is that.
His legs are fantastic. He is good. He's really good, Martin. I like him as well. He's a cool guy.
It's good. The legs remind me with those striations of Branch, who was his coach for the Texas Pro a couple of years ago.
I agree, man.
Who's coaching him now? Is it Kienzl?
I don't know. Oh yeah, Stefan. Yeah, Stefan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Coach Boss of Outlaw. It's right there.
Yeah. So they've done some good work together.
That was Detroit. Yeah, great look.
Yeah, nice. Tan looks nice there. The aesthetics. He's doing the vacuum. Nice tight waist. But you know what? Like I said about how Kienzl beat Sean Clarida, if they kind of go down that same route, Martin could conceivably beat Nick because he's not as big, he's not as freaky, but there's more prettiness going on in that midsection. There's more aesthetics, there's better flow. I would not be shocked beyond belief if Martin actually did beat Nick. And I bet there'll be a lot of boos. But if they go with, like I said, with what they did with Sean and Kienzl at the 212 Olympia last year, then don't be shocked if Martin wins.
I'm never shocked when really anybody wins, honestly, these days, because there's so many guys who, on any given day, somebody can catch someone else and with the best look they've ever had, and that's it, lights out. We're gonna talk about Beef Stew. Beef Stew was a runner-up last year.
Oh shit! Sorry, I knew I'd forgotten somebody.
No, I got it. I got you.
Yeah, and see Stu, there's another guy I think people, and I saw the recent updates and he looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got better separation than Martin. I think he's denser and thicker than Tonio. I mean, could he get second or third maybe? I mean, I've kind of got him fighting for like Martin, Quint, Tonio and Beef Stew. I think that's the three guys that are going to be battling for sort of third.
Yeah, he's sort of gotten overshadowed in the lead up to the show because of some other bigger names. We've kind of forgotten about it.
You're right, mate.
Stuart Sutherland is his real name, guys. Beef Stew is the best nickname in bodybuilding right now. Yeah, I mean, he's not missing much. Of course, I'd like to see a little more calves. We're both calf fanatics, but geez, whatever. That's a minor point. Great legs, great taper there on this guy.
And he's moved, isn't he? So he's moved now, and he's got himself. He's moved, left his job, and he's kind of just doing coaching. And he's got some good sponsors lined up. I really like Stu. Actually, I had him on Global a couple of times, and we did that. What do we do? Olympia review or one of the shows or whatever. And I really like him. I like his posts as well. He seems to have a good sort of he's a good sort of self-perception and good kind of nice personality. He seems he's a cool guy. I like him. I really like him.
He politely turned down an interview request of mine about a week and a half ago, but he gave me a great new phrase that I'm going to be using for the rest of my life because he said this prep.
Me.
It was. He said he was just dick in the dirt, tired. And I said, I'm stealing that. So he's really, he knows this is it's a much tougher lineup. He's really going all out. That was a guest posing.
I'd be nice because obviously it was very close between him and Tonio last year at the New York Pro. Mm-hmm. I kind of rooting for him to maybe beat Tonio because he has improved, and I know Tonio's improved as well. But it's going to be nice to see the rematch between those two guys because I don't think it was. Yes, Tonio won, but I don't think he completely blew Stu away last year.
No, it was close. It was close.
Yeah,
it wasn't a blowout.
Yeah. And look at the improvements Stu's made. I mean, I like those kind of dense. I mean, who could we like in his physique too? I mean, I'm trying to think. Maybe like Branch again.
Branch, but I mean, if you like that shorter, denser, I mean, the last two Olympias we've had have been Derek Lunsford and Hadi Choopan. Yeah. So the shorter, more compact, densely muscled guys, they're having a little bit of an era right now. Mm-hmm. He fits into that mold, until these taller guys, if they start just taking away and start dominating. I'd like to see a little more.
He's grainy, isn't he? He's grainy. And the midsection looks good. I think you're right. I think we've because I completely just forgot about him there. I mean, that's terrible, because he's a front runner. I mean, he's going to be first call out. Yeah. But like I said, I don't think he can beat Nick personally, but. Again, there's somebody I wouldn't be blown away if he got second or third,
So I think the X factor is Quinton Area, Quint Beastwood. Where is he?
Yeah. I still think he needs more time, though. I do.
I agree, but how much more time are we going to give this guy?
I know, but I hate to say it, but because I saw him in Romania, and I just like, okay, this guy really needs, a good few more years and some real serious muscles because he's got such a nice structure. He's got a beautiful structure.
So, I mean, how much more size do you think he needs beyond what we're looking at right here?
I hate to say that because it's I don't know.
He's a tall guy. I mean, he's over 6 foot, but that shape, the structure, the muscle bellies. This is definitely, if I had to guess, because a couple seasons ago he was 4th at the Boston Pro. I forget what show he did the Arnold. He didn't do as well at the Arnold, but. He's significantly larger now than he was a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Well, I hope he is, and I hope it really reflects on stage because he's one of my favorites, and I think he's one of these because he's still is he 30 years old yet? I don't think he is.
So I guess right here, if we're looking at the front relaxed, unless he's really not rolling his shoulder, this is where I could see maybe where he does need to fill out more still.
Yeah, he's got crazy legs, crazy calves, but I still think he's a work in progress. But having said that. I think it'd be interesting to see how he goes up against that Joseph. Because I think that's because he's going to be harder because that guy is just crazy grainy and crazy dry. But Quint's got better legs. Quint's got the smaller waist, but that Joseph is. Tell you what's going to be a really. I feel sorry for the guy that makes 7th because to squeeze into that top 6. Like we've got like top 10, like when we said like we've got top 10 guys in our top 3 for the Olympias,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like that. He's I think I'd love to see when as soon as he comes out and go, wow, by the time he's carved up and dried out, and and then you can really see how much improvements he's made in that first impression when you first catch him on stage. I really, really hope it's like a holy shit moment, because someone with that kind of shape and that structure, I mean, he's like you said, we've said many times, he's kind of like Lee Haney without the back, and he is, because his back looks crazy, the frontal biceps, the way it flares out, but in the back shots, it's always a bit.
Yeah, so this is a guy you've seen. I've seen him almost. I've never seen him in the open. You've seen him as an open.
Yeah, how can we forget Angel Calderon now? He's switched to the open.
So I wonder what he's going to, probably won't be more than 220 or so on stage, but like it's not like he needs to be 250s. Yeah. Probably 5'2" on a good day.
It'll be like 218 or something. You watch. By the time they actually dry out and stuff, even 4 or 5 pounds. Because I don't believe sometimes these guys who are like top 3 in a certain category, like the Angel is in the 212. He's been second. What was it? 10th, 7th, 4th, 2nd, and now he's dropped to 3rd. Yeah, I'm sure that's right in my head. And then how much is it heavier is he going to be in that same condition than he was in the 212 Olympia? I don't think it's going to be more than 4 or 5 pounds. So for them to then say I'm done with the 212, I don't believe them. I think they're bullshitting. I think he's doing this because he wants people to think he's gone all in for this open show. But I think he's just doing what all the other 212 guys like Derek and Hadi and all these guys that Bonac and who else? Throw me some names. Kamal, all the ones that Tonio, the ones that have kind of done well, also in open. I think he's leaving his options open. I think that's smart because he could still be top 3. He's not going to be top 3 in the Open Olympia, but he could probably still be top 3 in the 212 Olympia this year. So I think he's going to do this. He's going to test the waters because realistically, he's not going to get to 240 if he sticks with open because he's so stacked. Yeah. And I don't think he's one of these guys that loses a lot of muscle to get down into 212. I know. I don't know. I think he's just trying doing a little tryout here. And if he looks really good and he does well, I predict he'll still do the 212 Olympia. There you go.
He'd be foolish not to, I think. He's been second and third the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Why would you not?
Every year he went like a 10th, 7th, 4th, 2nd, 3rd. He's holding top 3. There's no reason to leave the 212 unless and I've not heard any like crazy stories of him, like, crazy things to make weight and suffering, like Jose did that time, when he was at the end of his 212 career, like he was really like, it was a real sort of, it was almost like not healthy and it was torture to just try and make a weight class. I think he's going to be okay.
Justin Rodriguez, I never want to leave him out.
Can't leave Justin out.
A study in persistence. He will not quit. He will not give up. I'm not overly thrilled at what I'm seeing here, but like I said, we've seen him pull things together so quickly at the last minute.
He's a master of illusion, this guy.
Yeah. So we'll see.
2 weeks out. Oh God, is that recent?
The comments are from 3 days ago.
What's happened to his back? His back's disappeared.
Yeah, that seems to be a common issue lately.
What's happened there? That's really weird. He's really. Do you think he's just really, really depleted and really sucked down here because he really wants to try and get that conditioning again? Get the conditioning.
I don't know. This back doesn't look too bad there. He's still got a great taper. It's not like his waist has gotten blown out or anything. But
some of the best. I would say he's got some of the best arms in the pro league.
Oh, that frontal bicep is still an amazing shot for him.
Yeah. I've always liked Justin. I think he's. I still think there's some good results left in him.
So we got a couple good Euro guys from Germany. We got Budapest.
Tim Budapest.
So that was, I don't know when this was, last year.
Do you know that he's on the left?
Is that Roland Sherlock?
Yeah.
Wow, I just did a video I'm doing this series Forgotten Mass Monsters, and I had him in there.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. Look at him.
Yeah.
I forgot because he had one of the craziest crab most musculars in the history of bodybuilding.
I tell you what, there was the example of a robbery of someone who didn't make top 15 at the 1994 Olympia.
Yeah, a lot of people were actually commenting on it. They said that was one of the most underrated, overlooked guys.
Agree.
Because he's somebody that never would complain, basically. You want to shaft him, put him down in like 15, he'd be like, oh well, sorry.
He made a comeback at the Masters Olympia in 2012. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Good, he was shredded. I didn't recognize him, but he was absolutely shredded. And obviously his physique had deteriorated a little bit. But yeah, because he had quite a few years of like some personal issues, let's say. I don't want to say. And for the fact that he made it back to the stage was quite. And now it's nice to see him back involved in the sport, because I've seen him at shows and he's so passionate, and he's obviously doing a bit of coaching and different things. It's nice to see them pop up again at shows and be happy to be involved again.
Yeah. So this is these are all recent shots. This is the only thing I'd want. His back just needs to be thicker, because God, he's got a hell of a physique, man.
I've seen some. Yeah, he's showing me Nick. I mean, I've seen some pictures of video of us a few weeks ago, and to be honest, he looked like he put on a ton of size. But we've all seen it where they look, in the Instagram pictures they look incredible, and then they show up and they look exactly the same. But I really liked him. Do you remember? I remember seeing Tim as a junior at the 2011 All Europe in Madrid, and he obviously wasn't this big, but he was like, I would say half. That was the shot. He was like half as big, and he would just completely look like a man amongst boys. I mean, he just completely obliterated everyone. And then I saw him when he did his when he won the Amateur Olympia, the famous 2017 San Marino, and then he got first call out the day after the pro show, which had 30 guys in it, and he got fourth, and third was Brandon Curry, second was Haddy, and first was Cedric McMillan. I mean, that was. But he never got the detail in that detail in his back ever back, like in his lat striations. I mean, I've never seen that since. So I'm kind of always got that as my barometer for. And he was I think he was just about 100. I think he was 100 kilo, because he was a heavyweight, not the super.
Wow.
Yeah, because that Israeli guy Danny Gaganovich won the supers, and then he did. I think he got eighth or ninth in the pro the next day as well. But he's I liked him. I think he's awesome, and he's. Can you remember? I think you went to Chicago a couple of years ago, and you were there at that event, and you were like, "Oh, I didn't realize how good he was until I saw him in the flesh. He's a monster." Yeah,
I'd never seen him in person. Yeah, he's definitely put some size on since then. That was my only knock on him, is like he didn't have enough size to hang with the bigger guys. Yeah. He does now. He's put on. I think he's about maxed out.
Is Emir Omaragic doing this?
I have not. The list, we're doing this, guys, on a Monday, and the list probably will come out 5 or 6 hours from now. So I don't have a complete list, but I'm going with who I do know.
I'm shocked to not see Vlad Suhorochko in this, because he's always. I mean, he's in crazy condition all year round. And he posted a picture the other day, and I put a comment, and he said, "Oh, thank you so much, my friend." And it was that was 10 weeks out, and that was 2 or 3 weeks ago. So he's not doing this one. But I was shocked. If you're in condition, I mean, and the New York Pro is known for the freaky guys and the freaky physiques. Then why not just jump in and do it?
True. We're not gonna talk too much about 212, because I don't know a lot of names doing it. But defending champ Kareth Baggio is in it. He's going to be the man to beat, as far as I'm concerned.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, well, we don't know. I mean, we don't know who else is going to pop up, but Kareth he loves this. He loves this show, because he's a Connecticut guy. That's everyone from this part of the country. This is like our mini Olympia, basically, the New York Pro. Yeah, his condition is never an issue with Kareth. He's been steadily rising up the ranks, doing better and better at the Olympia. I'd be surprised if he doesn't win this.
What did he get at the Olympia last year? I've forgotten now. Was it fourth?
I think it was. Was he top 5? I think he was.
Yeah, he's up there. I mean, the year before in 22, when I was there, he came over to him, and his coach, his name Justin, came over and just spoke to me at breakfast the day after the show. And I said, if you don't look like you did at the finals, you did at the prejudge. And I said, you'd probably been around fourth, because I think he got seventh in the end. And he says, "Oh, I know." And I said, "Well, whatever you did, go back to the drawing board, make some notes." I said, "And try and do that for the prejudge." And I said, because you look significantly better at the finals.
He's someone, I don't say this often, someone that probably would do with a little less vascularity might actually help him, because he's got veins on top of veins on top of veins. And I feel like at times it can sort of take away from the separation.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Is that just do you think that's just a genetic thing, or do you think it's the gear they're taking?
No, that's 100% genetic, because I remember Flex Wheeler barely had any veins ever.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And I'm sure Flex was loaded up like for bear, basically. He was on. I don't think he was lacking in the gear usage. So yeah, totally. So, but there is a youngster. Got to go to Francisco.
Oh, yes.
That is Patrick's guy.
Yeah. Did you see that other guy that Patrick's working with? I sent you a screenshot on the video chat. I completely forgot what his name is now. I sent it on the group chat and said, "Holy shit, look at this guy." I don't think he's doing it. I should have checked really.
Yeah, so Francisco Barrios, Vic, he did Arnold South America. He's done a bunch of shows. Didn't he almost win one last year? He was second place, I think.
He's done well. And he looks, I mean, his conditioning like about 3-4 weeks ago was like this. I mean, he was like, all his legs were sharply separated, really deep cuts. And I like Francisco, and he's one of these guys who's just quietly working away. Saw him turn pro in Spain a couple of years ago. And he's not wasted any time with turning pro and competing as a pro. And I like guys like that who just want to get straight in there, and they take a few years to turn pro, and as soon as they get their pro card, they just want to compete and train nonstop. I like that.
Yeah, and he's been able to add the size, because I remember we saw him as a junior years ago.
Yeah,
and, he was about, I won't say half the size, but he's probably put on a good 20 pounds of muscle since then, and the shape is really good. So he'll be first call out. I have no doubt about that. Yeah,
I like him. He gave me a great interview for Global last year. Really, it was quite. It's one of those ones where you don't know what to expect, but what he gave, I didn't expect. If that's a complete, contradiction.
Yeah, I do want to give some info on the show. I'll be there. I'm going with Christian, so we'll be there Friday doing the athlete interviews on Friday nights. Saturday we'll be doing wrap-ups with Jose Raymond after the judging. The live stream is only $19.99, less than $20 if you get it now. So you can go to bevfrancis.com, or even if you go to NYPro with a dash in the middle, ny-pro.com, it'll take you right here too. They're probably going to raise the price of the live stream toward the end of the week. So if you prepay and get it now, guys, you can save a little money. But of course, stay tuned right here. Look at the schedule.
Big show, this one.
They had to break up the judging and everything in the blocks. So 8 a.m, early. Women's physique, men's physique, wellness, classic physique, 212. Probably have like a 10-minute break. And then at noon, women's bodybuilding, figure, bikini, and men's bodybuilding. Every division except wheelchair is in this.
I think this is, like you said at the start, I think this is the best New York Pro that I can remember. Certainly in the last, I'm trying to think, since Kai Green and all them, Victor Martinez were regularly seen doing it. I think this is one of the best New York Pro. Steve is I'm really pleased for Steve actually, because there's been a couple of years in the Open where the lineups have been not good, and it is always been considered to be the third largest and most prestigious, and the one you really want to be doing. And then it's kind of like they love the freaks and the atmosphere is great, and then there was a couple of years where the lineups weren't that great, and I'm so happy to see that because sometimes even if you got all those divisions, if you've got 10 divisions and all those other pro divisions are really, really stacked and really got depth, it sometimes shows are kind of judged upon who really shows up and does the Open. So it's nice to see like this. There's going to be guys here that look phenomenal, big names that aren't going to be making top 6 in a show like this. This is going to be a tough show. So, but then again, when you don't have years like that, you get guys like Emir Moragic and Joseph that can come in and make top 3 and top 5 and make themselves a real good name, because like Joseph probably isn't going to be top 3 this year, but he's going to look sensational. He's going to get a lot of people very excited when they see him, because a lot of people aren't that familiar with guys like that. So it's kind of good for the unknowns, but it is kind of nice to see a year like this where you've got the Nick Walkers and the Tonios and you've got Quint improving and Martin, who's already won a pro show, but just wants to come in because he wants to have a crack at Nick. Shows you, I tell you what, it shows you how, I didn't say cocky. He's not cocky. He's confident. And the fact that he's willing to test himself to go up against someone like a Nick, who is top 3 Olympia. Martin really, he's probably someone I could see in the top 10, but he's yet to make top 10 at the Olympia or even be an Olympia. So I think this is a huge credit to Martin for sort of not just sort of like, shutting it down and just saying, well, I'm going to get ready for the Olympia and I'll just go and sit and watch the show and watch it on the live stream. Like it's really added a lot of excitement. And then you've got the rematch between Tonio and Beef Stew. You got the return of that Joseph as well, who was kind of like did like a 1990 Night of Champions Dorian where he just showed up and everyone was like, holy shit, who's this guy? So it's a good mix of competitors there in the Open. So I'm very envious of you and Christian going this weekend, mate.
Yeah, it's going to be his first pro show. So,
oh wow! First, he's never been to a pro show.
He's never been to a pro show. No,
Oh,
we went to the Cutler Classic a couple weeks ago as a warm up, just get it acclimated to the schedule and the atmosphere. But
yeah,
let's move on to some guy that you have. I don't think you discovered him, but this is the next classic superstar or one of. He's definitely going to be. Look at that. So we're looking at
holy shit,
Jose Manuel from Spain. Is he where he's from? Look at that.
That's just a freaking cartoon character. I mean, look at that.
Wow,
I mean,
that can. Geez.
Ron, he's 22 years old. I mean, forget the age. Look at this.
Look at that. Look at this. Jeez.
Ron, honestly, because he was at the M Pro, was it last year, and he took 4th place. He was 21 years old, and he was kind of one of the talks of the show. Let's be honest. That was the one Crizzo won, and then was it a couple of months ago when I heard he was going classic, I was like, what is he doing? Why? If you're 21 and you're already making an impact, you're making top 5 against big names in an open show, why would you then do something so stupid to go and do classic? And then I saw the pictures, and I was just like, because he beat Herman Pasteur, who's a really he's top. I'm sure he's made top 10 Olympics. He's one of he's won multiple. He's one of these guys who won like 2-3 pro shows on the trot, in the last couple of years. So he's one of the kind of the best European pros that we have in the classic. So then for this kid to then show up like that, I mean, I was messaging Emilio this morning. I said, Emilio, I can't believe my eyes, mate. I said, I thought he was crazy going into doing the classic. I said, but I'll say it here, I was completely wrong.
And I got to look at the lighting at this show. Amazing. But this is, typically for someone to go from, I can't think of anyone that's gone from open to classic and done really well.
22. I mean, do you know what? I mean, look at that. I mean, the condition, everything. I love being proved wrong with stuff like this, but I don't like to make predictions because you think about how stacked the classic is right now and how many new faces we've got coming through. And that Richard Nagy on the weekend, I was like, this guy. I mean, seeing him in the flesh, it was actually quite disappointing when I saw the photos. But to say that we've got like a new classic superstar from Europe, I mean, that is such an understatement. But to be this good, this young, 22. I mean, he is like, I mean, at the end of the day, let's be honest. Like Bumstead, how many years has he got? 1, 2 more, 3, maybe?
I'm pretty sure this is the last year we're going to see Bumstead on the stage.
Exactly. So we've got guys like Wesley and and Urs and guys like this coming up. I mean, it's just we've got Laszlo. Who else we got? Some of the other European. Like I said, we've got so many good European classics like now, and they're going all over the world, and they're all doing well. And but then a guy like this to come along and just sort of, I mean, the physique. I mean, the video looks great, but when you see the photos, the Jonathan Morillo high resolution pictures, I mean, it just. I mean, I would have been going absolutely crazy if I'd have been doing live stream there. I would have been going absolutely bananas. I'd have lost my shit, mate, completely. Yeah. Look at that.
This just freaks me out. The condition, amazing.
There's no skin.
So I think, if he had stayed in open, he would have had to get significantly larger, and who knows how he would have done. But this, I think he's going to be a big name in classic very, very soon. Jose Manuel. Yeah. Well, I mean,
he wasn't on Friday, but by the time the weekend was over, he is now. No, because honestly, this guy is. I think he's. I know it's the competition's very fierce in the classic, but I mean, there's a guy that could. Do you think? I mean, there's a guy I think could like be top 6, top 10, top 5. What do you think? Do you think he could be top 3? I mean, to be honest, I mean, I'd love to see him next to someone like an Urs.
Yeah, it's upset. We need to see all these guys because we talk about like Laszlo, and they all look great by themselves, and they are all great. But then you put them together, and you can only have one winner. You can only have so many guys. So Nathan, this is not recent. These are.
I know. Do you know what, Ron? Just looking at those pictures there from last year, like I can. It's just really highlighted even further just how improved he is in this video now that you're showing us now. Look at the legs, Ron.
This was 4 weeks down, 7 weeks to go. So this was a week ago. He is doing the show in Italy, the Flex Weekend Pro.
Yeah. Good luck, Hunter. Can I tell you, because I think you're going to struggle against this.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be very, very tough to beat. And like you said, Nathan has had visa issues getting to the U.S., so he treats these European shows very, very seriously. He's not about to let Hunter come in and just take it away from him.
Nathan did tell me specifically, he told me something last year in a message, and he said, I want to beat Hunter. Because, sometimes these guys, I remember years ago, was in 2017. I remember because I think at some point or another, Nathan at that point had beaten all the people that, you know, he kind of set those goals for. And he said to me, he said, the next one, he said, I want to beat Dexter. That's the one I'm going after. He said, that's what's motivating me and get me fired up in the gym. I want to go and beat Dexter. And obviously last year, he said to me specifically, he mentioned Hunter's name because I think he kind of knows, he's quite good at knowing where he kind of, how good he is and where he kind of fits in the scheme of things. He's probably thinking, okay, I'm like a kind of like a 5th to 8th place guy. That's right smack bang where Hunter is. You know, if I in my head do everything I can do in the next 6 months or a year to beat someone like that, then automatically I've not just held my position, but I've increased it. So for him to sort of, I bet he's really, really happy that Hunter's coming because he'll be doing everything he can to try and beat him. I'm telling you that now. He's gonna be very happy if he does as well. And
you know, it's of course there's going to be tremendous competition there anyway, but beating Hunter, who's a big name and who's been 4th place to the Olympia.
Yeah, exactly.
That raises his stock. What's that? Pinata machine?
I'd like to see this new version of Nathan up against Samson, mate.
I want to see Nathan back in the U.S. competing in Olympia.
I know. I reckon. Right. This is what I predict. I think if he can't get to America and we don't see him at the Olympia. Look, I mean, thing is, I had a feeling because Nathan's been like training like this, not just in the last 6 weeks, but he's been training like this for the last 6 months, the last year. And I've been messaging him and I said, Nathan, you've upped your game, mate, because I can tell. He says, yeah, I'm just putting my head down and I'm just trying to, you know, because I think, like I said, with John Danarosa, when they have injuries, even sometimes with a prep, they only have like maybe 6 months back in the gym. And then 3 months they're into it, they're already jumping on a prep and they're not really, you know, being able to put on the kind of size and train the way that they want to train. I mean, look at him now. I mean, he's, you know, his arms, he's torn both biceps. His arms are freaking than ever.
His biceps look great.
I know. I promised, I said to him a few weeks ago, so I really want to come over and see you actually. So I think, I mean, look at this, every single, I mean, he's training like freaking Ronnie Coleman here. And it's like he's now he's got no injuries and he can, you know, it's like the you know, the sort of the restraining, the training wheels are off. I kind of feel like I kind of feel like we're going to see the best because I think maybe he knows that he's maybe 1, 2, 3 more years. Because he said to me, "So I don't want to be competing past 40," and he's not far off that now. So I'm thinking that he's just gonna one or 2 years assault. And so I was going to say before, I think if he hears that Samson's going to be doing any post-Olympia shows like Romania or Prague he did last year, I think that this new version of Nathan. I've got a feeling he'll go wherever Samson is because don't forget Nathan used to be the number 1 in the UK and then it was always Samson coming behind him at the Old UK and all these different shows and then Nathan tore his biceps, reversed it, and now Samson's way in front. But now Nathan's kind of like, you know, he's made some serious improvements there, which is obviously going to close the gap between him and Samson. So I bet you if there's any shows that Samson or because he will know about it. I think he's good. I like that. I like that fierceness. I like the fact he'll go after people because he uses them as fuel for motivation. So I reckon he's going to try and go after Samson, try and beat him.
That's one thing you have to admire about it. He is fierce. He's not afraid of anybody. He talks shit and he backs it up.
Yeah, he does. He does. Look at that. I think the biggest improvement is the legs. Yeah. As soon as I saw this video, I was like, holy shit, look at his legs. I mean, it looks like he's put like 3-4 inches on him. I mean, there's more sweep, there's more, you know, the adductors, and you see the hamstrings from the front here. Like they're just denser. They're just denser. There's more going on. And the upper body just looks even crazier than ever. I mean, the readable bicep blew my socks off as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to watch that show, the Flex Weekend Pro.
Yeah,
I got to see that. I got to see that battle because there'll be some great competitors. But just the Nathan Hunter battle alone is worth the price of admission. I think
100%, mate. 100%.
All right. Well, man, it's been a long week in bodybuilding. Pittsburgh, New York Pro coming up. New stars. Giles doing his longest live stream ever in Hungary. Yeah.
I'll tell you how long it was.
So how many hours total were you live streaming?
Well, it was all in one day. So it was technically like 5 shows in one day. So you had the natural regional, the regional, then you had three pro categories. And they said, oh, we'll pick you up at 7:30 in the morning. And me and the judges were like, 7:30? The show didn't start till 9. And it wasn't that far from the hotel we were staying at. So we got there and started bending because they're really bang on time, these people. They say 9 o'clock, literally clock, you know, they're starting the show. There's no 5, 10, 20 minute delay. They bang on time. because Ildiko, she's very, she's on it.
Yeah.
And then we finished at, it was 9 p.m. I think we 9:15 maybe. So that was 12 and a quarter hours. So actually, after there's one point, I had to go with one of the short breaks. I had to go out and I said, Lauren, I'm just going to go outside onto grass. I said because it was quite hot in there as well because the weather's kind of getting hotter now, and I had to lie down on the grass outside because I was just like, I said, we're not even halfway through yet. This is intense.
Wow.
But yeah, it was really.
Did they feed you enough all day?
Oh God, they took us out for amazing food. I mean, I went to the best steakhouse I've ever been to in my life. It was like an American Wild West themed. You saw the pictures with Maz and everyone, and then they brought out little because it's Lauren's birthday today, Lady T, and also Maz's birthday next week. So when at the end they brought out these things with candles in them and stuff. So it was they're really nice. Ildiko and her team, they're just and Afrim, they're just really kind, thoughtful people. Right. And yeah, so it's honestly that. Those Hungarians and the Swedes and all that. I mean, they're just, the Emilios and the Muscle Contest in Ireland. I mean, they're just next level promoters, So I'm always there. I'm always hoping that they'll ask me to come back and ask us to come back, So, and they brought that stupid picture up on the screen on the LEDs because I'm the only person that doesn't like that picture. But everyone likes it so much, so I just said nothing. So they kept bringing it up. I'm like, this me doing the silly bikini girl pose. But,
I'm gonna
it's cool. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep badgering you until you do like that picture. I'll make it happen somehow.
It's horrible, but it's a bit of fun anyway. So, but yeah, it was good time, man. Good time.
So great hearing about all that, and yeah, New York Pro coming up. I'm very excited. I haven't been on scene to report a pro show since the last Olympia. It's been a while.
Wow, yeah,
it's been a while. It's how many months is that? 6. About 8 months. Wow. At the Olympia, I was hobbling around with my leg in a brace, and I was.
Oh yeah, God, yeah.
Did I bring the crutches? I don't think I brought the crutches. No.
Maz did the same thing. He fell and he tore, and then he went on to the other one, and the other one went as well. Oh. So he said he was at an amateur Olympia, and he said there was like 800 athletes, and he said he had a walker at the time. This was about 3 or 4 months ago. He said he had to go with a walker. Because we were walking around Budapest because they took us out to this view bar, this sky bar and stuff. And they took us around, showed us the Parliament and all that, and the chain bridge and all that. And we had to keep stopping because he said, Giles, guys, I only walk at one speed. He said, in fact, this is fast. He said this is super fast than how I was walking even just a few weeks ago. He said, so I'm really, I'm really happy. So yeah.
He actually saw at the Olympia. He stopped me and gave me some tips on rehab for the leg because he had torn his quad, I think, maybe a year before that. So
okay.
He had some good advice for me. Anyway, thank you so much, Giles. Of course, always fun doing this, and we'll have more stuff to talk about next week. We'll see what happens with this New York Pro. I'm very curious to see what the top 5 ends up being. Who ends up beating who? It's even with Nick's not a sure thing now. He's kind of a sure thing, but I don't want to make it seem like he's not a sure thing, but.
Keon and Sean Clarida at the Olympia. I thought Sean had that in the bag, and then Keon won. It was like, holy shit. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Hadi and Derek. Derek had the nice vacuum and the sort of more prettier midsection. He won the Olympia. So maybe we're seeing start of a trend because Martin's got that nice midsection, and the pro league don't really want to promote that kind of that kind of look. So unless Nick can fix that for this weekend, I mean, he might be. This is not a shoo-in that he could win this. I mean, Martin, Beef Stew, Tony, they could all potentially beat him if the judges are judging it like they've been judging in the last year or so. So
yeah, it's going to be a great top 5, no matter which way it shakes out. There's some really great competitors. I'm excited. I'll go to any New York Pro is always a good show, but when the lineup is strong, it's just the electricity in the air. The fans there are just nuts. These people.
I've never been to a New York Pro. It's one of the only, one of the few pro shows I've not actually been to. I've been to Tampa and Texas and all these other ones, but Arnold's Olympias, but never been.
We'll get you over here at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah. Nice.
New York needs Tiger. It's actually New Jersey, but close enough.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, thank you so much, Giles, for taking the time. I know you just got back last night from a busy weekend in Budapest, so appreciate it. Guys, please, if you like what you see on this channel, subscribe, like, share, ring that notification bell. All kinds of great content on here. I'd love for you to check it out. And that's it. This has been another episode of Power Hour with me, Ron Harris, and the one and only Giles Tiger Thomas. We'll see you next time.